Hi everyone, welcome back to another video with Nubian Sun Raw. Yes. I've been thinking of how I'm going to introduce this new topic to you all. And the only thing I could come up with is using examples because, I use examples often. So I want to share how I noticed while I was in school, I took some classes for advertising and graphic design. And I noticed inside of all of the designs for advertisement had symbols in it. And, the UPS delivery sign is a shield. If you look at the FedEx logo, it has an arrow in it. Look between the E and the X. That's all I could tell you. And the Timberland being a tree, and there is X's in it, which symbolizes fertility, and a tree, like family tree, people that we are offspring, basically. So, and that was like something I seen on Facebook about it being racist in some way. I can't really give you all the statements verbatim, like word for word, because I'm not sure of it. So I'll let you all do your own research on that. But if you have seen it on Facebook about it being racist somehow tied to, bondage days, then you know what I mean. But I wanted to say that to say, whenever we are looking at a picture or a situation, a circumstance, things ain't always what it seemed to be. One of my favorite phrases. It's really like that because there's always something hidden in it, whether it's good or bad, just like those symbols I was speaking on before, and artists, people that are very creative in some type of craft, they understand this simple fact about in and everything, because it's in and everything. Some therapists, they usually use objects, props, to assist them to be able to find out certain information in their craft, which is if it's, a verb type of craft, something you have to do. But if it's something you have to look for, like use your eyes, it's tactile, your hands, then that would be like symbols and things like that. So, when we're looking for those things, we find that there's always something hidden. And if there's always something hidden, that means there's always something to be overlooked. It's something like a flaw. Everybody knows what that is. And everybody has it. Even if you are creating a movie, there's some type of creator's flaw. They say that creators don't make mistakes. No, they say God doesn't make mistakes. But that's depending on, the polarity of it, how you want to see it. Because not everyone sees a mistake and actually sees a mistake. They see it in some other different, like useful, something that can be built on, or they look at it in a different perspective, But this topic is going to get deep, so that's why I had to go through something like, a guideline of, exactly where I'm going with this. So one of the biggest forms of magic that has been performed on us is the whole race issue. And I have to bring this up because it is one of the most used type of tactics when it comes to magic, and it's what I feel is our biggest issue, other than the not having a relationship with ourselves and loving ourselves, and that could also fall under not being able to communicate with each other, because I speak about that also. You could put that under what I'm about to explain under that too, but it's something that I just feel like need to be addressed separately, so I want you all to just bear with me, and if you have to play this video back, it's on Facebook to be played back. That's what the video is here for, so you can be able to overstand exactly what I'm saying, Okay, so the polarity of truth seeking is looking for truth, of course, or buying into an experience. And buying into an experience could be a form of settling, and just looking for truth is being open and aware to all aspects of people, places, and things, And so whenever we were told the stories from either school or a grandparent or someone who's actually lived through it, and or seeing it on TV or whatever, about bondage and how it happened, they only speak of a particular race of people, even though we know that it was a trade of boat stops of different people across the world. It was all shades of land, because I just feel like, depending on what side of the world you come from, your skin color matches that atmosphere, in some way, shape, or form. But it was like all shades, But why was it the Africans that they decide to use for what you would call like a symbol inside of a picture, like the logos I was just speaking on, something you have to look for, because everyone's seeking the truth about what's really happening, because there's so many different perspectives out there, and I just feel like it's one of the biggest forms of magic, because they were actually able to divide us in that way. Not only by, if you're even African, or if your bloodline has been enslaved or even was slaves, because there's so many different perspectives, it's dividing us in that way, to the point where we can't even be in the moment and worry about what we have going on now, because the thing about all of the rumors, I call it rumors, that are going around about what happened, it's got some truth in all of them, but it's a lot of this truth also. But it's all about perspective, a lot of people will say if it's a perspective that someone else do not see, then it's a lie, like I said in one of my other videos. And I reiterate that because it's very important to know that, So, yeah, it's like conquer and divide, and it's one of the strongest magics they've used on us. And they were able to do so just by the simple fact that we did not really understand or retaliate in a way where we could have fought back at that time because of that period in time and who we were, and what was happening in the world at that time, So we can't really speak on too much about, what happened, because that's going to be a different perception than if we were to see it now, and actually see it up close and personal. And we can be like, well, then I understand, because, you can only do what you know at that time. Sometimes you just don't know, and you have to experience things to find out. But it was just very harsh at how, like, a lot of times we will be to the point where we want to fight each other and hurt each other over terminology and identity, to the point where we just miss the whole point. And that's why I speak about magic a lot, because I said in one of my other videos that I feel like it is most of the issue. Because for me, I just feel like the unknown is more real than what is created here on earth. And I say that because it is the first stop for any situation, anything that could ever happen. It always starts there, and like more metaphorically, like a cloud. Before it starts to rain, something happens within the clouds or the sky and the wind and all of that to make rain, And I just feel like whenever we realize that it is something that is magical, that means it is working on chakras, and it's also mind games, a lot of in your mind, just in your mind type of things, until we realize that, it's like we'll always be separated, and divide and conquer is real. Like we can't be divided and be for righteousness and expect for everything to go smooth. There's gonna be some bumps in the road, and it's always like that when things are not balanced, because when things are balanced, things go smoothly because it's teamwork. Everybody is in their rightful place because we know who needs to go where, what needs to happen. Everybody in their rightful places, and everybody is doing their job or what is of them to do, and things run smoothly. When it's not like that, things get shitty. That's common sense, and all this time, we we're getting closer to getting that way, but it's still a lot of spiritual warfare. Still a lot of magic going around, and so it's slowly but surely happening, but it still has to happen if we want to have access to our dreams, being able to help our children succeed and thrive for the future, our great grandchildren. It's a process, but for the future, and for ourselves. Last but not least, you want to do it for yourself too. And it's just wild because when we talk about magic, we don't really understand that it is all in layers. It's like we know, maybe we do understand, but it's just not something that we think about consistently. You have to train yourself to look at the signs and subliminals and things like that, and to be able to process them at a high rate. Don't be thinking on something for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, trying to process it and then get it late. You got to practice on it, because it is something that is used, whenever we are not sharp, on our skills. That's used against us, and that's why there are people that take certain things more serious than others. It's always like that for some reason. But to be able to work together, to be able, for righteousness, to make sure that we defeat the evils, because it's all just working together. A lot of people don't really like to put labels on it. They just say, I want to do better. I am doing better, actually. We can do this, which we can. Everything is well. We're moving forward. We are united, things like that. But because I don't want to get too low into those energies, but yeah, it's just a process. It's something we have to work on, and it's individually. You can't tell someone else to work on something that they're not really interested in working in or ready to work on, and it just causes a lot of confusion to make people not want to really deal with it, because it's a lot to deal with, and it's a lot of confusion because it's layers to it. A lot of times people will look at a person and say we can relate through skin color, gender, race, spirituality, whatever, and then next thing you know, is like some type of confusion, and that's what I said in one of my other videos, a line of communication, that's very important. because we don't want to do the whole divide and conquer situation, because that's not how order actually happen. It's more like chaos. You know, a lot of times people say like, oh, well, in the beginning of time, there was darkness, right? And with that being said, they will also come to say, well, that means nothing had any type of title. There was no good or bad. There was no such thing as Me Too movements. There was no such thing as, harassment and all the things that we think of as negative. It just didn't exist because the light wasn't there to put a name on it. To say, okay, this isn't right, And that's why I don't really look at it that way. I feel like there was both, because if it's as above, so below, then it was both, because it's hard for me to believe that someone wouldn't feel violated and actually have those feelings and act accordingly to the point where, now it's time to fight if you come at me sideways, It's human nature. It's been around for forever, wars and things, but it's like, I always say it's about percentages, because, if people were to put their differences aside, then there would be no, little small war breaks. It'll be a big, massive amount of people towards, there's just a small percentage of people that's like this. It ain't like it's everybody. Sometimes that's the magic. That's the magic too. The confusion. There'll be so many spirits roaming around, jumping through bodies and stuff, to the point where you'll think it's everybody. And it's not. It's not really like that at all. And sometimes you just have to just change perspectives so you can be able to see, just like with the logo that I spoke about in the beginning, just look around a little bit to seek the truth instead of just buying into an experience, just believing anything. You have to know for yourself, within yourself, and that's the truth about it. Well, I hope you all are saying your affirmations, grounding yourself, meditating, staying balanced, and loving yourself. Peace and love.